Hey everybody, and welcome back to Boss Components. Today we'll be looking at installing the CZ Shadow 2 Dovetail Multi-Red Dot Mount. Let's go through what comes with the CZ Shadow 2 Multi-Mount. First of all, you'll notice that there are some colourful pins in there. These are locating pins which are made out of nylon and will fit in the multi-mount system itself. You also receive, of course, the CZ multi-mount, which is Shadow 2 compatible only at this stage. There'll be some grub screws in there as well, two which will be accompanied with it, and also a diagram of where the pin locations will go and what dots are compatible with our mounts. Other items we're going to need to fit the CZ multi-mount are the following: a hammer with a nylon tip or rubber tip, a fine file, not a coarse file as we're only looking at removing small quantities, and a punch. Our mount also has cocking serrations on either side. Location holes are for the nylon pins that's accompanied with this mount, so please refer to the diagram. You'll also notice on the sides that we have actually rounded the ends. This is so you don't snag yourself while cocking. The CZ Shadow 2 multi-mount also has a 1 degree down angle pitch. In the back, we've cut out a notch. This is purely for centering, so please have a look at this. Our mount is made from 7075 aluminium and does have a black hard anodizing level 3 coating over the top. Okay guys, let's get to some filing. Please make sure you're using a fine file as mentioned before. Now, what we want to do is take note to this dovetail cut here. All we're looking at doing is basically taking some material off from one side only. When filing, make sure you don't have your file squared off. You don't want to be taking away the actual angle itself. This kind of filing you're seeing here at the moment is not correct and shouldn't be done. All we're doing here is taking away the angle of what we need. Instead, what you should be doing is having the file on the other angle. Keep the file the same angle as the dovetail cut itself and take away as minimal material as possible. Okay, once we've actually filed one side only, we're looking at installing it onto the slide now. You'll notice on the Shadow 2 slide, there's only one way for it to go onto. There's clearly a notch in the bottom, which is opened up wider than what it is on the other side, even though some people try to actually put it on that side. If you don't know which side it is, look for the logo. The CZ Shadow 2 is the way it should be going on. Once you've filed enough for the mount to slip over, you should be able to push it across with your fingers ever so slightly until it goes tight. You'll notice it only probably venture over maybe about say halfway. Once we got it into this position here, we can then use our rubber hammer or your steel grips or vices to basically punch it across. I've just done this myself. Okay, now let's lock down the grub screws. There's two grub screws located in the middle of the mounts. What we're going to do is nip them up finger tight only. At this point here, you could use some blue Loctite if you wanted to, but it is strongly recommended to use it. After all, you don't want to be shooting a stage and then your sights start to move because the screws have wound out a bit. So it's not a bad idea to do it. Rightio. I'm going to be using my Vortex Venom dot to be placed on here. There's also 2 screws basically, which is for the Vortex itself, and I also put a bit of blue Loctite on that as well. Like the grub screws before, the blue Loctite will just help it hold the screws down firmly. Okay, now to the pins. You can see these are color coded, and some other ones that went out basically were in the steel pins, but we decided to change these over now to a nylon. The diagram will help you understand which pins are for which dot and where they basically go. So please use this format. Now I know the Vortex Venom is going to be the pink pins. So what I'm going to do first is just check to make sure it's going to fit on there, which we already know it is. And then put the pink locating pins in the holes that represent the Vortex Venom. At this point, I know they're at the front. In the middle area here, there are the 2 screws, which the Vortex will then screw down and lock onto the plate. What you can do is put your thumb on the top and press it down a little bit there if you want, just to hold. Then take the Allen key and lock down the screws to the plate. Like the grub screws, we do not want to over tighten it at all. We just want to only nip it up. So a little more nip. Okay, and that should have it. You'll notice now it's tight and stays on quite well. And that's it, guys. Easy as that. Thanks again for watching Boss Components, and I'll see you on the range.